Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to have this gorgeous Rachel on the interview call with us today, joining us in the show, trying to really support women entrepreneurs all over the world to thrive in their business. I'm just going to give Rachel a quick introduction, and then I'm going to hand it over to her. So it's Rachel Eigen. Did I say that right, girl?
Eigen.
Eigen, that's right. Sorry. Okay, so Rachel isn't your typical financial professional. She's part strategist, part problem solver, and 100% committed to helping you own your financial future. With years of experience in industrial and systems engineering, she knows how to cut through the fluff and get straight to what works. Rachel's holistic, unapologetically real approach ensures that every dollar, decision, and strategy is working for you, not the other way around. Great. I love that, Rachel. So tell us all about yourself. Let's dive straight into how we're going to make our money work harder than we do. That's so exciting.
Yes. So I will say that I came across this strategy years and years after being completely feeling I've never had a great relationship with money. I want to preface that. Like, I have always struggled with the idea of money. I never wanted to deal with it. I didn't grow up in a household that had very healthy relationships with money. And so my entire childhood, and let's talk about doing some inner child work. I had to do a lot of unblocking there to allow myself to feel okay speaking around the dollar. And so I'll say this has been a journey that has been coming. And I kind of resisted it for a long time because I was like, no, it's not for me. I can't do money. I can't talk about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then research, education of just like being sick of feeling stuck all the darn time. It always felt like there was a financial roadblock for my next step, whether it was in my business or in my personal life or things I wanted to do. It was just always a financial hardship, it felt like. And I was just so sick of the phrase. It's so cliche, but it's so true. I was sick of surviving and not thriving, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just was so done.
Sure.
So I learned about, while trying to find side hustles actually to pad my own bank account, I fell into this concept of infinite banking. I had heard of it. I was like, yeah, okay, kind of brushed it off. Again, my relationship with the dollar wasn't really great. So it was just like an automatic turn off.
Yeah.
With banking and doing a lot of self-discovery and finding kind of my authentic self through a lot of different programs and work on me. I got it very clear that this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to help others do. And you're going to focus on teaching these methods because they're not taught. And so what infinite banking is basically using a life insurance policy of some sort. You hear different gurus talk about an IUL or whole life. You're going to hear those two phrases. I'll tell you, I use both. It's completely dependent on your situation, but don't drop, because I know everyone's like, life insurance is a scam. I've heard that so many times. And I do want to say that you have to have the right person for you to set up your policy. And I say that for two really big reasons. Why I have heard infinite banking is a scam, life insurance is a scam, or the policy doesn't work the way that they were told or advertised it was supposed to work. And there's two big things. One, the structure is not correct. There are so many different little tiny nuances and playing with what's called the cash value and what's called the death benefit. And there is literally, you have to play with the numbers until that you find a sweet spot. And a lot of times agents won't do that or don't know to do it. So I would say one, ignorance for the wrong structure is a really big one. The other one is, and I hate to have to say this, but I've run into it too many times now, to not exploit this. And I'm a no BS kind of girl. So I have to exploit it, is that the the infinite banking policy is meant to grow your money as fast as it possibly can in the policy while you spend it, which I'll get to in a second.
Sure.
But for that to happen, in a life insurance policy, you either are going to have a higher death benefit or you're going to have a higher cash value. You cannot have both because one has to come down for the other. The issue, so for an infinite bank policy, obviously cash value is going to be the one that I want to be the biggest one for you to strategize and use in your day-to-day life. Here's the thing, an agent's commission is tied directly to the death benefit.
Right.
So if you have an agent focused on themselves or trying to make it structured so that both of you are getting the best of both worlds, that doesn't actually exist, unfortunately.
Sure.
And so that's really the biggest reasons I hear, because I'll look at policies and I'll be like, okay, well, I fully agree. This policy is crap. This is not the right one for you. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because when you do have a policy that works, you know, I'm your best friend all of a sudden. And so how infinite banking works is, again, with this life insurance policy of some sort. It depends on the person. I use them all. I don't think there's one best or the other, although you'll hear different gurus say different things. Basically, you put money into a policy. So let's say I'm going to put, for round numbers, I put $10,000 into my policy a month. Let's just say, and this is the one I'm going to revolve like a credit card. So I'm going to put $10,000 into a policy, and I'm going to pull $5,000 out to pay my bill.
Right.
Money that's growing at a certain interest rate. So mine right now is growing at around 10%. That money is growing. It's the full $10,000 value growing. So you would think that it would be 10,000 minus the 5,000 I pulled, but it's not. It's the full 10,000 continuing to grow at some level. And that's making your dollar work twice for you, because the full dollar amount's growing while I'm spending it. It's basically a loan, and that's where you hear the term private banking, infinite banking, be your own banker, because literally I'm using my life insurance policy as my bank. So rather than have to go apply for a loan and you have to pull my credit check and then you have to tell me the terms of the loan and how I'm repaying it, I get to decide all that for myself to the point where I'm not even required to pay back the loan. Get that? Because here's the thing with life insurance policies is that you aren't actually borrowing from your money. It's the carrier giving you the loan. You are allowed to borrow and using your cash value as collateral. And that's the key. It's not actually pulling your 5,000 out of the 10,000. So your full 10,000 continues to grow while you're getting 5,000 back to pay your bills. Then make it work 3 times, because I'm an overachiever and I like to go for big. Put everything on your credit card, use your life insurance policy to pay that credit card. And now I'm getting cash back, interest on my dollar, point value, and all those great things. And my dollar's working 3 times for me.
That is awesome.
That's how that works. And that's how it should work.
Sure.
But we're not taught this because life insurance, the carriers are not allowed to actually advertise this. They're only allowed to advertise for the death benefit, which is why you don't hear that. And that's because the government wants you to use their products like 401ks and IRAs and invest in the stock market because they want to be your business partner in it all. But I think we all know, and if we were going to ask ourselves if you want the government to be your business partner and trust them with your dollar and pay their penalties, I don't think that's necessarily the right amount. The amount of 401ks I transition to a different policy is unreal, because what people don't realize is it's an average of 4% growth, a whole 4%. For your retirement money. And if anything crashes, your retirement stock crashes. There were so many people in 2008 that lost half of their retirement. So it's all tied to things that that are too risky, I feel. I'm not a gambler, never been a gambler. Don't like to gamble with my dollar. I want to know that it's worked twice, if not 3 times as hard for me, and I want to know that. I don't want to guess that. And so that's really where people are like, how come we don't all do this? Well, because the government is going to make dollars on your partnership with them, your investment with them, and then the taxes on that. And if you
Yeah.
structure a policy correctly, a lot of times, like an IUL, grows tax-free.
Wow. Okay. So that's really cool. So how would someone in the audience, if they were interested, how would they start this? How would they reach out to you, or is there a process they can start before they even, how do they wrap their minds around this?
Yeah, I mean, reach out to me. I know you're going to drop the link for my personal calendar that I'm offering out to your audience specifically for personal consults with me. Also, YouTube's got great videos on just understanding the concept. If you reach out to me, I'll send you some of my favorites. But learn, read Be Your Own Banker, Nelson Nash. Infinite Banking is the one that coined the term infinite banking. R. Nelson Nash has his own book out. Read the book. Educate yourself, do your due diligence. And then when I really feel like it has to resonate with you though too, because you're not going to use it in the way that I am going to structure it. I'm going to put a lot of energy and time into like creating strategies and solutions for you. And I know that if it doesn't resonate with you right now, and maybe it will in the future, but if it doesn't resonate, you're not going to use it to its advantage. And the policy is meant to be used. Like when I structure an infinite banking policy, it is meant to constantly be a revolving door. That is how it compounds interest.
Okay. So you spoke about your Calendly link. If I can just say, Rachel is offering a free financial consultation with her. Tell us what's going to happen in the financial consultation. I know you were saying you will be giving a financial questionnaire and to see how your money works, but what can they expect? Why would they want to get on a call with you? What can they expect?
Well, one, I feel like a lot of people get anxiety before they meet with me. Don't be anxious, because I'm going to tell you, one, I've seen it all, and two, I probably did it myself.
Wow.
I have had more financial hardships and financial screw ups and just embarrassing financial things. And I'm just look back and I'm like, what was I? So know that you're in good company coming into those. And the second part is, I think manifesting and being authentic to yourself is a big thing. I think coming into a meeting with me, if you have a really poor relationship with money, doing some unblocking work so that we can really channel your best strategies. I think the energy match is a huge part of really feeling secure in your financial strategy. And so basically you'll come in, hopefully you've done any work that you need to, whether it's educational through YouTube, whether it's energetically, unblocking or aligning, whatever you need to do. And setting a mindset of really stepping into your financial security, to thrive financially. That's when you get on a call with me. We walk through every and anywhere your current money is. I'm going to ask you to bring policy statements if you are in 401ks, IRAs, pensions, money markets, anything like that. We're going to look at it, and we're literally going to compare numbers to numbers, because sometimes it's an emotional thing, and I don't think finances should be necessarily emotional. It comes down to numbers. Am I going to double or triple your money, or are you going to stay in you are? And I'll be real blatant with you. We're going to pull up this policy, we're going to pull up this policy, and you're going to see it yourself, and you're going to say, holy crap, yes, or you're going to say, I'm not real comfortable with it. And either way, the fact that you got educated on it, it'll be in your brain for later on for you to make the best decision for you and your family. And that's really what it comes down to. It's no pressure. There's no sale to it. I'm going to pull up some ideas for you, and I'm going to either prove to you that I can make your money work harder for you, or we're not going to do anything. We're just going to stay friends. And I'm totally cool with that.
I love that so much, so much.
Yeah.
Just a heap of information.
It was so much. Sorry for the overload. I promise.
It was really short and sweet, but with so much really useful information. Last question I will ask you: what is your favorite tax strategy? The deduction, like what would you say?
So another part of this whole financial journey And it's been excuse me, but a hell of a journey, y'all. So, and it's been 10 years in the making of having my own financial issues, and then going back to even my childhood. So now we're at 35 years of struggling with the concept of money, right?
Right.
I say this because taxes are a huge part of taking advantage of your financial situation. And I specifically wanted to point this out because depending on how you operate in your business, in your personal life, if you have an LLC or an S Corp, there are so many financial strategies out there. There's over 150
Wow.
strategies out there that people
Wow.
just don't know. Your CPA
Right.
doesn't know it. And I'm going to tell you why your CPA doesn't know it. Because it's impossible to know 150 strategies by heart, the documentation that it's going to take to prove it, when it's going to apply. It's impossible. So there are little companies out there or bigger companies out there that will specialize in 5 or 6 of them. But you're
Okay.
not going to get the full gamut. And so I work with an AI system and a previous IRS agent herself, who has partnered with all these different companies, kind of conglomeration of all these different tax strategists, because there are so many out there. Like, if you are making $1 million in net profit, we should still be able to get you close to zero. I mean, it's just that's how many strategies there are out there that are just not being used. My personal favorite one, and because I'm in South Carolina, I'm about an hour from Augusta National, so the big golf course and Masters tournament every year. So my favorite tax strategy is called the Augusta Rule.
Right.
And what happened was that they're way back when, the Augusta itself, Augusta, Georgia, where the Augusta National is, they weren't getting enough spaces for all the people who wanted to come in. There wasn't enough space to host them all. And so the governor took I forget if it was the governor or the mayor, a politician took it to Congress basically to ask if we could create a tax strategy, or they could create a tax advantage for those people who live there to rent out their homes for the week.
Wow.
And so they did. It's called the Augusta Rule, and you are actually allowed to write off 14 nights of whatever renting out your home would be, like on an Airbnb. You're allowed to write that off. If you rent out to your business or you rent out to something, you're allowed to write that off as a tax advantage. So for a lot of us, that's a pretty big write-off. It's a pretty big deduction overall. When you look at what your taxable income is, it can be a pretty nice chunk. So
Sure.
that's my favorite rule that a lot of people never heard of, but it was a rule created around the Augusta National, which is close to me, and very, very underutilized.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. I love that. And you will obviously be discussing this.
Oh yeah, it's all in the meeting.
Yeah. You go. Okay. Fantastic. So thank you, Rachel. This was absolutely mind-blowing. Really,
Thank
really
you for
cool.
having me.
You're so welcome. I love the information. I'm going to be dropping all the links in the description, Rachel's social handles, the link to her calendar where you can set up a free consultation and really just dive in and get your claws on it. All the information will be there. So feel free to reach out to her. She's the girl to go to. Let's make your money work harder than you do. 3, 4, 10 times harder. Why not? Okay, my loves. Thank you so much, Rachel. I really appreciate your time for showing up. It was so lovely meeting you. Have a beautiful day further. Thank you for joining us. Keep well.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.